Welcome. My name is Laura. I'm going to be teaching you yoga today, but first I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your breathing. Your breath is continuous. It's constantly flowing, usually without you noticing, just like the ocean. It ebbs and flows, rises and falls. Breath goes on and on and on. This connection to your breath has a direct effect on your body and how it feels, and on your mind and how your mind feels. I want you to close your eyes and picture your last run. What was the breath like? Was it irregular? Were you gasping for air? Or was it strong and steady and rhythmic? How did that affect your run? If it was irregular, you might have been thinking, you can't do this, or I have to quit, or I'm not going to make it. But if it was steady and strong and rhythmic, you would have felt empowered and that you can do it. You can run that 5K. You can open your eyes. So the breath has that direct effect on the mind. Where our state of mind is directly correlated to our breathing. One of the ways we can move into a state of relaxation or calm is through a yoga breath called diaphragmatic breathing. This is where you breathe with the whole body. You're breathing with your diaphragm, you're breathing into your rib cage and your back body. Whereas mostly throughout the day, we breathe into our chest, right? When we're habitually breathing, we just breathe into that chest. So we want to teach the body how to become more habitual and breathe correctly, and this will allow the rest of the body to function properly. So with that diaphragmatic breath, you can do it anywhere. You can do it sitting here right now, standing up in the grocery store, laying down. You could do it in any of your yoga postures. Because a lot of us don't know how to breathe this way, one of the best ways I can teach you to do this is to lie down on the floor. Go ahead and move over to my mat. I'll meet you over there.
So we're on our mats now. Go ahead and lay down on your stomach. Stack one forearm on top of the other. Go ahead and lift your legs just a little bit so you can turn your toes out and away from you, so they're pointing away. And then rest your head on top of your forearms. You'll notice that your chest is elevated off of the ground. Now go ahead and just start to breathe in and out through your nose. Try to breathe into just your chest. You'll notice it's really difficult to do. So what's natural and what feels right is to breathe into the belly. So as you inhale, you want to press your belly into the floor, just lightly, not too strong. And then exhale, gently draw your navel towards your spine. So your abdomen engages. As you inhale, expands. And as you exhale, the abdomen softens. It releases. So this will just properly align the whole body as you breathe like this. So it might feel a little awkward to do, especially if you're not used to breathing this way. But if you can do this daily or at least a couple times a week, it will start to become more habitual. You'll catch yourself breathing into that chest, and then you can redirect the breath into the diaphragm. So let's just stay here for about 1 more minute. And as you're breathing deeply, you might even sense the back of the body stretching and moving very subtly. Notice if you're clenching or gripping into your glutes or your legs. Try to consciously, physically soften those areas. Make sure you're not clenching through your toes. You're just releasing here. Take 3 more breaths. In and out through the nose. Feeling the rise and fall of the belly. And then go ahead and lift your head off of your forearms. You're going to bring your hands under your shoulders and just bring your feet a little closer together. Press into your hands and come on up so you're kneeling and just sitting back on your heels. So we're going to start our movement practice now. Go ahead and come to your hands and your knees. You want to have your hands right underneath your shoulders and your knees right underneath your hips. And then go ahead and reestablish that belly breathing, that diaphragmatic breath, so you're breathing in and out through your nose. Inhale, begin to lift your sternum up towards the ceiling. Lift your tailbone so you're arching your back. Then you're going to start to round your back, tuck your tailbone, start to lower your elbows down towards the floor, bring your bottom to your heels, and drop your head. You're going to inhale, start to round your back to come back up. So you're going back into that table position, lift your chest. Exhale, round and press back. And inhale, come back up to your hands and your knees. Lift your chest, and then bring yourself back into a neutral spine. Now take your right leg and send it straight back behind you. You're going to cross your right leg over your left leg, so your legs are crisscrossed. And then open your feet up wide. Okay, so we're going to lower that back knee to the floor. And we're going to do that same movement through the spine. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale, pull your hips back, round your back. You're going to allow that left knee to lift. As you drop your head, it might not touch the ground, that's fine. Inhale, come back up to your hands. Straightening your arms, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale and round your back. Pull the hips back. One more time. Inhale, come up, lift the heart. And exhale, pull the hips back, lower the arms, drop your head. Inhale, come back up to where you started. You're going to uncross your right leg. So we'll switch to the other side. Send your left leg back. Cross it over your right leg and open up your feet. Inhale, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale, pull your hips back. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift through the chest. Exhale, pull the hips back. 1 more time. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, pull your hips back. Then we're going to go ahead and come back up to where we started, uncrossing your left leg. Have your big toes touching and open your knees about the width of the mat. Draw your hips all the way down towards your heels. Have your arms resting on the ground and bring your head to the ground. This is called child's pose. This is a great place to come back to the breath. So reestablishing that diaphragmatic breathing. And you'll notice that you can breathe a little bit more freely now. We opened up the lungs a little bit, the side body, through that little gentle stretch. And this is a great resting pose. Anytime you need to come back here, please feel free to do that. We're going to slide the hands under the shoulders, pressing into your arms. Go ahead and straighten your arms, lift your chest, look forward, and then walk yourself back into that tabletop position. Let's go into downward facing dog. So to do that, you're going to scoot your knees behind your hips and then curl your toes under. I like to come into that back bend position, so lift the chest and look forward. Then go ahead and send the hips into the air. Lift your knees off the ground. So you look like an upside down letter V. Then we're going to pedal out the feet. So bend your right knee and press your left heel down to the floor, and then switch sides. Go ahead and keep doing that. So if you're more of a beginner yoga person, follow along with me. If you've practiced yoga before, you just are more familiar. And if there's anything that just feels too easy and you know of something that can make it just a little bit more challenging, of course, feel free to do that. But remember, just trying to stretch the body out. We're trying to teach the body to breathe with our movement so we can deepen that mind-body connection. Then we're going to go ahead and lift both of your heels up high so you can stretch your feet, right? They work a lot when you run. And then press your heels back down. Again, lift your heels up high and press your heels back down. Go ahead and look up at your hands and walk your feet forward all the way to meet your hands. Have a little bend to your knees and let your head drop. By doing this, you can stretch your spine. Don't worry, you'll get lots and lots of hamstrings. So just have the knees bent. We're going to come up to standing, so we'll put a deeper bend to the knees, open the arms, press into the feet. Inhale, circle the arms all the way over your head, bringing the fingers to touch, maybe move the head out of the way. And then exhale your hands to your heart center in a prayer gesture. We're going to get into some sun salutations now, so this is going to warm you up. Inhale and circle your arms around over your head. Fingers touch. Exhale, circle the arms down. Begin to bend the knees and fold forward, straightening your legs. Slide your hands onto your shin bones, press against your legs and lift up halfway. Draw your belly in, pull your shoulders back. Exhale, go back into that forward fold. Wrap your hands behind your calves and pull yourself in a little deeper. We're going to come back up to standing, bend the knees. Inhale, circle the arms, lift with your center of your chest. Fingertips touch. And then exhale, circle hands down around to prayer position. Again, inhale, circle the arms, fingertips touch. And exhale, bend the knees, fold forward. Maybe going a little straighter with the legs. Hands slide up onto the shins, pressing against your legs. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale and fold. Hands come behind the calves, pull yourself in a little bit deeper. Go ahead and drop your hands now to the floor. You're going to take your left leg and step it behind your right leg. If you ever did any sports in high school, you probably remember this stretch. It's a great little stretch for the outside of the leg. Let your head drop and then bend your knees quite a bit. So you're kind of like a little plie. And then straighten them. Bend and straighten. And then just check in with yourself. If you lost your breath, come back to it. And then we'll take our left foot, step it back to neutral, back to meet the right foot, and go ahead and switch legs. Take your right foot, step it over. Little bend to the knees. So bend them and straighten. Bend and straighten. And then hold that. Try to relax from the fold of the hip crease rather than trying to round your back to get your head down a little bit more. Uncross your right leg, bring it back to meet your left. We'll put a deep bend to the knees and look forward, open up your arms. Inhale, come all the way up, fingertips touch. Exhale your hands down around, back to the heart. So we're going to go into a full sun salutation now. Inhale, circle the arms, lift your heels off the ground like you're wearing stilettos. I don't know about you, but I don't wear stilettos anymore, so I just do this. Exhale, heels down, fold forward. This time line your fingers up with your toes and lift up halfway. Remember, try to keep that lift through the chest. Go ahead and step back with your right foot into a nice lunge stance. If your hands don't touch the floor, you could always rest them on your leg. From here, straighten your front leg and then bend your knee back over the ankle. Do that again, straighten the leg and bend the knee over the ankle. One last time, straighten your leg, stay here and hold. Rebend your knee over the ankle. Put your left hand on your left thigh. You're going to look to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift your right arm all the way up towards the ceiling. If you're feeling steady on your feet, add your left arm up into the air. If you need a little bit more grounding, a little bit more balance, just keep your left hand down. So this is your inhale. You're going to pull that right arm back, lift your chest. As runners, you tend to look down a lot. So keep your head on the horizon just for a counterbalance. Exhale, you're going to bring your right hand, both hands down to the inside of your left foot. You're going to come through the middle of your mat. Keep your knees bent so you get that hip opener. Go all the way around now to face your right foot. So you should be facing the back of your mat. Right hand to the right thigh. Inhale, lift the left arm. Possibly add the right arm. Exhale, the hands come back to the inside of the foot. And we're going to do that again. Come all the way through the middle. Back around to your left foot. Inhale, arms lift. And exhale, arms lower. Bend, 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 squat, 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 all the way around to the back of your mat. Inhale, arms lift. Hold it here. You can always modify by dropping to your left knee. Take your right hand to your right hip. Reach up and lengthen through your left side. Now you're going to take a little lateral stretch. So you're going to bend to your right. So I'll just turn to face the camera so you can see that straight on. So you're reaching up and over. Getting a nice big stretch through that left hip flexor. Good. From here, inhale, straighten out the torso. Bring both hands to the inside of your right foot. Walk around to face the front foot. We're going to get that same lateral stretch now on the other side. Inhale, lift the arms. Left hand to the left hip, reach up. Stretch laterally over to the left side. Keep bending into that front left leg. Inhale, straighten out your torso. Both arms up. Exhale the hands down to frame your left foot. We're going to step our left foot back into downward facing dog. From here, just shake your hips side to side. And then come forward into a top of a push-up, your plank pose. Draw your belly in, look forward. Modify by coming down to the knees. This is called Chaturanga Dandasana. It's the yoga push-up. So you want to bring the chest forward. Bend your elbows right next to the torso. Don't let them go out wide. Hug them in. Come all the way down to the belly. Tops of the feet go flat. Inhale. Lift your head and chest off the ground. Exhale. Lower back down. So this is just a little baby cobra pose. Inhale. Lift up. And exhale. Lower down. Again, inhale. Lift up. This time, go ahead and turn your head to the right and lower your left cheek to the floor. Inhale, lift up. Turn your head through center. Look to the left. Lower your right cheek to the floor. One more time. Inhale, lift up. Turn your head through center. Put your forehead down on the ground. Curl your toes. Press yourself back into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth and let out a sigh through your mouth. Look up at your hands. Go ahead and walk your feet forward. So you're coming back to the front of your mat, standing forward fold. From here, we're going to take our left foot back. Go ahead and step your left foot back into that lunge position. We're going to do those hamstring stretches now on the other side. Straighten your front leg. And then bend your knee over the ankle. So there might be all the grunting and groaning here. Keep moving it with your breath. And one last time. Hold, breathe in, and breathe out. Good. We're going to do the same thing here. So we're going to inhale, lift the arms, or just one arm. Exhale the hands to the inside of your right foot. Walk around to the back of your mat. So now you're framing your left foot. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, release the hands. Bend, bend, bend. Squat, squat, squat. Come back around. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, release. Back around. We're going to add on a twist here. So go ahead and inhale, lift your arms over your head. So you're coming back up. Now take your right hand and lower it down to the floor. You're going to turn and twist to your left, reaching your left arm up towards the ceiling. Turn your head to look up. Big breath in and big breath out. Another breath in and out. Take one more inhale here. On your exhale, bring your left hand down to the inside of your foot. Walk all the way around to the front of your mat. Let's get that twist on the other side. First, we'll go ahead and lift the arms. just to even it out. Exhale the left hand to the floor. Turn and twist to the right. Turn your head to look up. Breathing in. Breathing out. Remember, you can always drop to the knee to modify. Take one more inhale. Exhale the right hand down to frame your right foot. Step your right foot back into downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank pose. This time we're just going to go to a hover. So if you want to stay up off the knees, that's a little bit more challenging. I'm going to show you the modification. So you're going to drop to your knees and lift your feet. You're going to do that same thing with the arms. Bend your elbows lower. Now lift your chest through the arms up. Drop the feet to the ground, toes curled under. Lift your knees. This is called upward facing dog. Exhale, send the hips up high, downward facing dog. Then looking up at your hands, walk your feet forward. Come to the front of your mat in a standing forward fold. Bend your knees. Shift the gaze forward. Inhale, open the arms all the way back up to standing. Hands over your head. Exhale your hands to prayer position. So now we're going to do something, a little balance challenge pose for the glutes. You can stay on your mat. If you're feeling a little wobbly today, you can hold on to a chair, or you could even come to the wall and put your hands on the wall, and you can stay facing the wall. I'll face you guys. So we're going to shift and stand on our right foot to begin. So bring all of that weight over to the right leg. Now go ahead and draw your left knee in, interlace your fingers, lift your chest, hold it here. Now begin to cross your left ankle on top of your right leg. Bend your right knee and sit back, press the hips back. So you might feel a little wobbly here, just do your best. Remember, the wall is always there for you. If you're away from the wall, you can bring your hands to a prayer position. Now see if you can sit down a little lower and bring your chest a little lower. Keep flexing that left foot here so we protect the knee. Hold and breathe for 3, 2, and 1. Start to lift your chest away from your leg, standing up. Uncross your left leg, put the foot down, shake it out. All right, other side. Shift your weight over to your left foot. Lift your right knee. Interlace your fingers around your right knee. Push your knee against your hands so we open up the chest. Then from here, go ahead and cross your ankle on top of the leg. Start to bend your left knee. Remember, hands can be just walking down the wall, or you're in prayer hands. You can always start at the wall and then just start to take your hands away if you're feeling strong. See if you can lower your chest a little bit more. Keep flexing your right foot. Breathe into that right glute for 3, 2. Push into your standing foot to come up and lower your right foot down. Very good. Go ahead and come back to the front of your mat. And we're going to get a little bit more into the hip flexors. So go ahead and take your arms, reach them over your head. Exhale, fold forward. Line your fingers up with your toes, lift up halfway. Step your right foot back. If you need a little cushioning for your knee, you could fold your blanket or your yoga mat over in half and then put your knee on the folded portion. Put your left hand to the inside of your left foot and move your left foot all the way over to the edge of the mat. Just wider than the shoulders. Now scoot that right leg back as much as it will go back. You want to be more on the top of the knee rather than the kneecap. This might be a really big stretch for you, so you could stay right here with your arms being straight. Try to keep pressing down into your big left toe. Don't let the foot just kind of turn out. Hug the knee in. If you feel like you can go a little lower, you can come down to your forearms. You could also put a folded blanket underneath or a pillow or some books if you don't want to go as low as I'm doing right now. And then at first you might be like, oh yeah, this feels nice. But then that
that sympathetic nervous system, that fight or flight response can kick in here, and the brain gets really chatty and says, okay, how much longer? So this is where that diaphragmatic breath is really important. Try to breathe through this. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Take 2 more breaths here. It won't last forever. And then we're going to go ahead and straighten the arms if you were down on the forearms. Curl your right toes under and lift your knee. Let the mat unflip if it was flipped. And then we're going to step our back foot forward. Just back up to the front. And we'll go into the other side. Take your left leg back. If you want to flip your mat in half, go ahead and flip it. Come down to your left knee. Right hand to the inside of the right foot. Move that foot over and scoot your left knee back. Okay, so just kind of gauge this out, feel it out. This is a big stretch for that left hip flexor. If you're going to go lower, come on down. And just check in with the knee. If it's starting to open, keep hugging it in. This is emphasizing strengthening your hips. Practice that diaphragmatic breath here. And notice if you start to clench into your jaw, can you soften and release there? Sometimes opening and closing the mouth a few times can help give your mind that mental cue to relax the jaw. We're almost done. Take 1 more breath. And then go ahead and straighten your arms. Instead of stepping forward, we're going to just slide the right knee back. So pull that leg back. And this time we'll keep the knees together for child's pose. So keep the knees together. If your head doesn't come all the way to the ground, you can just stack the hands. Or you can even separate the knees a little bit just to make some space. And bring your hands back alongside your feet with your palms turned up. Let your shoulders round forward. And just take a couple of breaths here. Let those hips be really heavy. And take your hands under your shoulders. Press the floor away from you. And you're going to sit down on your bottom. I'm just going to turn to face the camera, but you can stay facing the front of your mat. Take both legs out in front of you. Go ahead and bend your right knee. And then drop your right knee open, sliding your right foot against the inner left thigh. Take both arms and reach them over your head. Elongate through your spine. Take an inhale here. Exhale, reach forward 1/4 of the way. Keep your neck in alignment with your spine. Take another inhale. Exhale, reach forward 1/2 of the way. Try not to round your back here. Find extension through the spine. Another inhale. Exhale, go a little bit more. And then grab a hold of anywhere on the leg. So you might be up here. Those legs might be really tight. Just grab a hold of the leg. It doesn't matter where you're grabbing. We're going to take this into a little twist. So your right hand is going to come outside of your left leg. And your left hand is going to come out of your hip. You're going to start to turn to your left. So you're turning away from your bent knee. Look over your left shoulder. Inhale, lift your chest. And then bring your left hand up and over your right wrist. Grab a hold of it around your leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, let your elbows bend out wide and drop your head. Now untuck your right hand and bring it to the inner right thigh. Start to revolve your body open towards your right knee. Then from here, reach your right arm up and over your ear for a little lateral stretch. Take another inhale, and then exhale, turn your torso, bring your right wrist over the left, lift your chest, and fold. Notice if you're a little bit deeper than you were before. Engage your left thigh, so we want to contract the quadricep just to protect the hamstring muscle and the knee. And then bring your hands to the floor just underneath your shoulders. Use your arms to press the ground away from you. You're going to put your right hand down on the floor and just kind of lean over onto your right outer hip, lifting your left leg. Bend your left knee and draw your ankle towards your glute for a little quad stretch, pressing the hip forward. Roll that left shoulder open, look down towards your left knee. Good, and then we'll release. Push into your right hand to come back up. Extend your leg out in front of you. Good, go ahead and switch sides. Bend your left knee, open the knee out to the side. From here, arms up. This is your inhale. Sit up tall, try not to slump here. If you're slumping, you want to slide something underneath you like a blanket or a towel. Folding from your hip crease, come forward with your torso. So notice that I'm not rounding into it here. I'm extending forward. Inhale. And then exhale, come forward a little bit more. Draw your belly in. Your core is supporting your back. See if you can reach forward just a little bit more on that exhale. And then lower the hands anywhere they touch. The ground, the leg, maybe the thigh. Then we're going to twist it out. By moving the torso a little bit in these directions, it helps us to fold a little deeper. So your right hand comes out from your hip, and you're going to hold onto the outside of your right leg. Turn to your right. Notice what's happening with your right foot if it kind of starts to turn inward. Maintain that integrity by flexing your foot. And then we're going to take our right arm, bring it up and over the left. Hold again. Slide your left hand out from underneath you. Put it on the inner thigh. Turn to your left. You might stay right here. You're still getting an opening through the chest. Little additional lateral stretch. The left arm comes up and over the ear. Reaching through the fingers. Keep breathing. And then we'll go ahead and cross the left arm over the right. Let the elbows bend. Lower the head. At this point, it's okay to let the back round. You can come out of extension and more into that rounding position. Stretch the back. Remember to engage your quadriceps. And then take your hands to the floor underneath you. Press the ground away. And we'll go into that quad stretch. Left hand comes down, lean to your left outer hip. Lift your right foot, send the foot back by your glute, and press your hip forward. My quads are always so very tight. This is intense. Do your best. Good, and then we'll go ahead and release. Come back up. We are going to lay down on our backs, so if you want to put any socks or sweaters on, if you're feeling a little chilly, you can add those things in. We're going to lie down on the back. And we're going to just do a little bridge pose to kind of sort everything out. So you're going to start with your hands down on either side of your hips. Your knees are bent. You're going to push your hips up. At the same time, lift your arms all the way over your head. And then exhale, lower the arms and lower your hips. So your arms have to move a little faster than the hips. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale, lifting the hips, lift the arms. And exhale, lower. This is strengthening your hamstrings. Again, inhale, press up. And exhale, lower down. Last time, we're going to stay and hold. Inhale, press up, stay there. Engage the glutes just a teeny tiny bit. And then just notice the broadness of the upper back. The broadness of the shoulders supporting you here. Breathe in for 3. 2, we're going to keep the arms where they are. Lower the spine 1 vertebrae at a time. Once your bottom comes down, go ahead and rest. And draw your knees in towards your chest. I'm going to wrap my arms around the knees and just rock a little bit side to side. And we'll finish with a little gentle twist. Open your arms into a T and the palms face up. Take both of your knees all the way to the left. So just let them drop down to the ground. I heard some nice cracking through my spine. You might hear some noises as well. And let the head turn to the right. Take a nice big deep breath. Come back to that diaphragmatic breathing. And this is a great place to check in with the breath. And I always like to think about that ocean tide, the ocean waves here, that ebb and flow. Ride the wave of the breath. And you might start to notice with each exhale, you can begin to soften and release. Bring your nose through center. Lift your top leg, the bottom leg follows. Take the legs over to the other side. Let the head turn away if that feels good. It can stay where it was. And just breathing deeply. You could even put your right hand onto your belly just to check in. Am I breathing into my belly? I don't know. Right? So the hand could physically feel the breath moving up and down. And don't be afraid to let the belly move up and down. So often we are holding our bellies in, trying to, hug it all in. No one's looking at you. Just let the belly be soft, right? You're lying on the ground. You don't need to engage the abdomen. Go ahead and release the right hand. Bring your nose back to point towards the ceiling. Your top leg lifts and the bottom leg follows. Hug the knees to the chest. One final pose, happy baby pose. So you're going to bring your elbows to the insides of the knees and press the knees open. This might kind of be your flexibility, so that's fine. You can kind of rock a little bit here. If you feel you got a little bit more, you could lift your feet, point them towards the ceiling, and you could hold on to your yoga pants or your ankles. If you can grab a hold of your toes, great. Don't strain yourself though. Don't be rounding and muscling your way up into it. Try to remain relaxed and soft, so wherever you're grabbing, that's your spot today. Every day it will change. And then I like to rock around a little bit here, massage the spine. And then we'll stop all that rocking motion, hug the knees to the chest one last time. And then we're going to go ahead and put the feet on the ground. And we're coming to our final relaxation pose. This is called Shavasana or corpse pose. We won't stay here very long. Of course, if you have more time and you want to remain, by all means, please stay as long as you would like. So what you want to do is just make sure you're comfortable. Maybe you need to slide something underneath your knees, especially if you're going to remain for a long time. Draw your shoulder blades a little bit together and down the back, so the back of your neck is long. Let your feet flop open, and then let your fingers curl in. And at this point, just let your breath be spontaneous. And even though it's being spontaneous, you might have created that habit for yourself of breathing into the diaphragm. So you might notice the belly rising and falling. Try to relax the whole body into the ground. Feel the eyes sinking back into their sockets. Relax the space in between the eyebrows. Relax your cheeks and your jaw. Feel the shoulders dropping into the floor. The arms releasing. The back releasing. The hips releasing. The legs releasing. The feet releasing. Breathing in Breathing out, letting go. Of course, if you choose to remain here a little longer, you can pause the video and resume when you're ready. When you are ready to move, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Let your head just rock side to side. And then bend your knees one at a time. Your feet come to the floor. And roll all the way over to your left or right side. You can choose. Just using your bottom arm as a little pillow. Use the top hand. Press into the ground. Come up slowly. We're just going to come to a cross-legged position. Inhale, circle the arms all the way over your head. And then exhale your hands to your heart. Thank you so much for joining me in your yoga practice. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.